All right, we are live. How's it going? It is Friday, March 27th. Um, the stimulus bill passed today, was signed into law, which means there'll be an expansion of unemployment insurance, covering more people, even gig workers and all sorts of people like that. And there will be a baseline boost to all benefits. Essentially, whatever your state would give you as a benefit, you'll get $600 in addition to that. So if the state will give you 150, you'll get 750 a week. In addition, that will probably start rolling out in 2 to 3 weeks, I would guess. These things happen slower than we want them to, but it is coming. $1,200 checks, I would bet, are about 3 to 4 weeks out. If you have direct deposit, probably 3 or 4 weeks. You shouldn't have to do anything. As far as I know, the IRS is going to send those out themselves, essentially, with your tax information. Like, however you receive your tax refund, that's how you're going to receive it. So, direct deposit or mail in check. The checks themselves will actually probably take longer. We also there are small business loans and things of that nature, but none of us own a small business, so I know some about that. You can contact us if you're interested, or there's a lot of articles about it which explain it pretty clearly. But people on Social Security and all these sorts of things are eligible, so that's important. And even if you didn't file taxes because you're on Social Security, they're apparently going to use your benefit statement, so they'll be able to get those out to you regardless, is what I've heard. Uh, we are the world's leader in cases of coronavirus. We've surpassed China.
American what?
Yes, American exceptionalism, yet again. Um, Hopefully, efforts, solidarity with all the healthcare workers and everybody who works everybody who's working right now, despite all of this.
The essential jobs.
Right. Um,
Yes.
if you are being forced to go to work, or I guess if you're willing to do it regardless, solidarity with you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully, people are treating you respectfully. Um, and let's remember to stay home and out of these people's way as much as possible so they can be healthy and safe. Um, that's that's what's required of us right now. This is the only thing that's going to defeat it. Luckily, there's been a lot of good things going around social media, reminding people that, like, we are the carrier of this virus. It's not going to just pop up somewhere. You have to bring it
Yeah, you
around,
have
essentially.
to with it.
Right, and that's important to realize. So stay home if you can, and you should be as much as possible. That doesn't mean you can't go outside or whatever, but stay away from people. No invading people's
You can
space.
exercise outside.
Wash your
That was
hands.
in the, yep, that was in the thing Tanunu released. You can exercise outside. That's cool. Don't hang out with friends or nothing.
Yeah, well, he still probably wants tourists to come in, or
He does.
I don't know. His
He's
expansion,
like your teeth, sure. Yeah.
right? His like stay-at-home order basically says like that everyone is an essential worker. It was hard to see reading through it how anybody would be considered non-essential. Essentially, yes. So. But if you can stay home because we need to take care of each other. We need to look out for each other, and that's the best way to do it. Anyway, enough of that. We certainly like you get it from everywhere. You can certainly find information about this anywhere.
Yeah.
And we're all following it and whatever. So we're gonna try to have some lighter stuff tonight. But the second of stimulus package is coming. Don't spend the money yet, but it should help at least in the short term. Some of us. Um, I did find it funny that apparently, not funny, haha, but like funny, weird, that the New Hampshire liquor stores are apparently paying their employees who are still working like a 10% raise. Just, I believe, if I read it right, just for the period,
The outbreak lasts.
Yeah.
And then they're just gonna take it away, and no one's gonna have a problem with that.
We'll see, but solidarity with all workers.
Yeah.
Stay safe, please. We'll in another episode we'll talk about what we have to do as we progress through this, but so that when we're done with this, we still have something left. What the end result of this looks like as best as we can. But we're not going to do that tonight. We're going to try to keep it chill. So how's everybody doing? Parker, how you doing?
I'm on day 11 here, being out of work. I'm not dangling from the ceiling, so that's good. No, I mean...
You mean like Spider-Man, or are you being dark?
No, it is what it is.
How are you keeping busy?
Not much, really. I think that's part of the problem. Most of them just watching new shit on streaming.
Like?
I got done the other night watching I Am Not Okay With This on Netflix.
Yeah? I haven't seen that yet. How is it? Are you okay with it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was just a little disappointed. It was only 7 episodes, which was a surprise because they get to like this good part and it's like, oh, it's over? 7 episodes?
Yeah. It's this girl, she has like powers, right?
Yeah, she's going through a rough time. She discovered she has like telekinetic powers.
She's going through a rough time because of it, or after the fact?
Her father committed suicide in their basement, and her mom works round the clock, basically, and so she's basically raising her little brother.
Okay. Tough being a teenager.
No, it was pretty good. I think if you liked The End of the Fucking World, then you'll probably like this. Just
Okay.
It's, American with superpowers. Well, one superpower.
What is her superpower?
Telekinesis that comes out when she's upset, so she can't focus it. It just, happens.
So it's like Carrie, kind of.
Like the anger.
Oh,
just
yeah.
lashing out.
All right.
Yeah.
So Parker's doing some streaming. He's Netflix and chilling. How are you staying sane?
Well, today
Stuck in the house with me.
Today was day 2 quarantine for me. So I spent the day organizing the kitchen and like sitting on the couch just like being overwhelmed by all the projects I want to do and not doing any of them. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. We all have to remember to take it easy on ourselves, for sure. It's okay.
Kind of
like take a day off.
Still
please.
in work mode, and you gotta realize it's okay to sit down.
Right. Well, everybody, just take a day off.
Yeah.
Sit in your sweatpants and just watch YouTube conspiracy videos all day.
That actually sounds really fun.
Yeah. I mean, or you can listen and watch us, but just be lazy for a day. Experience it. Don't care about anything. Don't take calls or text messages unless they're important. Just be chill. Go get all office space with it. You know, get zen.
Get a copier and smash it.
Yeah. Smash some office equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you have it.
You're not using it, so.
Yeah, right. Nobody's using it. That's how you boost the economy. Take office equipment and smash it, and then the company will have to buy more, which will boost, spending or whatever.
Sales.
Economics.
There you go. Figure it out. Boom.
Yeah. All right, so we have a couple things we want to talk about tonight. Maggie, you want to break down this first one?
Yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about. Recently, I saw that Britney Spears is now being known as Comrade Britney because she had an Instagram post where she shared the graphic of a writer, Mimi Zoo, which included the line, "We will feed each other, redistribute wealth, strike." So now Britney's a communist, apparently. Which, if she is, cool. Like, whatever. But I found a list of, I think it's 6 songs that have a hidden, socialist meaning in them.
All right, well, yeah. Let's go through them.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'll pull them up on the thing.
Okay.
So number 1, work.
Bitch.
Yeah.
You better work, bitch.
An introduction to Marxist Leninist spiritism. In her 2013 banger, Spears espouses the values penned by the father of communism herself, Karl Marx. If a worker wants a hot body, a Bugatti, a Maserati, indeed, they better work, bitch. For under Marx's theory of labor, the value of a commodity such as living fancy, living in a big mansion, or partying in France can be objectively measured by the average number of labor hours required to produce that commodity.
Very clearly the message that she was going for.
Yeah, labor theory of value.
Yeah.
It's great to see her bringing these things to the forefront. That is important. All right, let's check. I'm a Slave for You. Is this about wage slavery?
Yes, I think so.
I'm a Slave for You is a song about the plight of the titular wage slave.
Yes.
Capital is elusive to us. Yes, we are alienated from capital and from each other. Capital is elusive to us, yet we are all slaves to the cogs of the economy. It just feels right. It just feels good, Comrade Spears wrote. But we cannot hold it.
I am not a cog.
You are the biggest cog, Parker. You're a giant cog. She explained in the tune that as much as the lower class wants to dance next to the ruling class, to another time and place, perhaps a socialist utopia. Nevertheless, we are all slaves to capitalism.
This was like one of my first favorite Britney Spears songs.
Yeah, I mean, in a different way, probably. Although maybe not, but it was one of my favorite songs. I enjoyed the video.
Very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See where you're going with that.
Yeah. It's good. It also has that part where it's like the roof. I think it's like Cedric the Entertainer or something for some random reason.
I forgot about that.
And he's like, no, the roof is actually on fire. And nobody cares. He's like, whatever. You could also make that case that video specifically, that Cedric the Entertainer part, is comparable to like people's reaction to climate change.
Yeah.
Cedric the Entertainer is like Greta Thunberg or any number of climate activists and scientists that have been trying to tell us for years. The roof is on fire. And people just keep on dancing.
They just let it burn.
That's right.
Look at my tan, bro.
All right. Toxic. There's no escape from late-stage capitalism, Spears wrote. It is toxic. Yes, the workers are calling for a revolution. When Spears sings about the economic model of growth at all costs, the workers will forever be slipping under the hierarchy as they try to taste the poison paradise of the lifestyle of the rich. I was waiting for Maddie to start singing.
I mean, it's playing in my head constantly.
And yet, she will not share it
Sorry.
with any of us. And yet.
Screaming.
What do we have here? Circus. Is this the one that starts, it's like, it's Britney, bitch.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's classic. That's not to make insensitive statements, but that's a crazy ex-girlfriend song. Anyway, in this song on the eponymous 2008 album, Spears begin with, "There's only two types of people in the world, the ones that entertain and the ones that observe. As Marx asserted, there are in fact only two types of people in the world, capitalists or bourgeoisie, and the workers or proletariat. The bourgeoisie observe the labor or entrainment of the proletariat. In presenting herself a put-on-a-show kind of girl, perhaps Spears is showing that all it takes for this hierarchy to be overthrown is a revolutionary figure, one Britney Spears."
It's almost like she's been volunteering to do it for years and just no one's picked up the message until now.
That would be incredible. I will, I will rise up with her for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting. She's at an interesting trajectory.
She is. Yeah, she has.
Let's see. Give me more. Gimme more, a rallying cry for workers to demand higher wages through collective bargaining through unions and strikes. Yes.
Or the seductive power of consumerism.
Yes. The subtext there is all labor creates value. And labor is entitled to all it creates. So.
Give me more.
Yeah, give it all. Oops, I did it again. Yes, we all do it again, and again and again. Toil away as the rich get richer, Spears argues in her 2004 song. You see, my problem is this: I'm dreaming away, wishing that heroes they truly exist. In belting this out, Spears yearns for the days when heroes such as Lenin, Mao, and Fidel Castro truly existed. The workers take a sip from the devil's cup and accept their place in the world. That's from Toxic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
caught you.
Reach,
You're not a real Britney fan.
It's okay. Regardless, it works. But let's be clear. That is from the song Toxic. But in manipulating the listener, Spears suddenly adopts the role of the capitalist for the song's chorus. Workers feel that their bosses are sent from above, but they are simply not that innocent. They played
innocent.
Oh, yeah. They played with the heart of the proletariat, their joy and sense of what being human, and get lost in the game of alienating the masses. Anyway, we seriously doubt Britney's, whatever. No, they go on to backtrack it. No, Britney Spears is a communist. She released very recently a statement saying all landlords against the wall. We don't necessarily agree with that, but that's her thing, and I support, as a strong woman, as she is a strong woman, I support her. That is Britney Spears, the communist.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah. Indeed, it is. All right, so we have someone who would like to leave a comment. I'm gonna tell them. Here we go. I'm gonna bring them up. One moment. All right, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Oh, surviving.
Lucky you. Aren't you supposed to like introduce me and say like you're on the air and this is that and some other shit?
Yes, we're on the air with famous butcher, can Leatherface. Leatherface.
uh,
What do you want to be called?
Matty Ratface. That's my thing. Um,
Matty. Excuse me if I get this wrong, but Matty Ratface.
that's correct.
Okay.
That's what you want to
This
be
is
called?
this is what I ask people.
Uh, that's been my thing since like elementary school. I didn't choose it, but it's me. I don't know.
We're on the phone right now with Matthew of the Ratface Clan. How's it going tonight? What do you got for us?
I gotta tell you, I'm fucking losing my shit. I've been cooped up in my house since last Friday when I got too trashed to call in, and they haven't let me back to work. I had to go take the test, and they say until those results are back, I'm not allowed anywhere, including the grocery store, the gas store, or the liquor store. Uh, so my
You're
wife
not
has
allowed
said,
anywhere?
anywhere, dude.
Yeah.
That's the thing. As soon as you take the test, if you have a cough for long enough that you have to go take the test for this whole coronavirus thing, then they treat you as a suspected case,
Right.
and you're locked down in your house until you get those test results back, which could be, 7 to 10 days.
Right. I mean, it's in some way, in a lot of ways, that's probably a good thing, just in
Mhm.
case you are. Really,
Dude,
like,
I get it. I get it. I want to believe it's a good thing,
no,
but
we're
it fucking blows.
here's hoping that you're fine, man.
Yeah.
But the contamination protocol part of me says that we honestly should be treating everyone um, like they are
Like they
infected
do
anyway.
have it.
So,
Whether
I
or not they
know.
have any
yeah.
And for
symptoms.
2 weeks, dude, I was spraying down every door handle, every drill, everybody's hammer, everybody's fucking cell phones with Lysol. I was hitting everything for 2 weeks. You know how it is to keep a job site
I do.
sanitary? It's ridiculous.
I know.
There's no running water. There's no soap. Most of the time, that it's just plywood surfaces. All you can do is spray with Lysol and hope for the best.
Right.
And we've been doing that for 2 weeks, and it didn't matter. I still got a cold. Everybody got scared because I had sniffles and then a cough, and then I finally went to the doctor, and now it's another 7 to 10 days before I get results back. And because my wife worked at the nursing home, she had to disclose that to her employer, and they said you have to stay home until we get the test results back. So that's two sources of income that are like toast in my house. And
Yeah.
so neither one of us are collecting a paycheck until this whole thing is over. And you know what really bothers me? I don't know if this is the subject you guys were looking for tonight or not, but what really bothers me is after a week or two, we get cleared, we go back to work. There's no saying that we're not going to get another scare. I don't get another cough, and I
Right.
don't have to get
Yeah.
another test and go home for another 2 weeks. I could do this 3 or 4 times over the next couple of months. I could be out for 6 months, on and off for the
Yeah.
next year. Who the hell knows when it's going to end? That's the scary part to me.
Well, that's kind of the point. Is the only way they've been able to shut this down entirely, and even in Wuhan, it looks like as they reemerge, some people are. I could be wrong, but I believe I saw something today about there are, as they've reemerged from lockdown, people have become positive again.
I did
Um,
read about people testing positive twice,
but that's the
getting it,
point. Is
recovering, and
this
getting.
is going to be very very hard. It's tough in any job really to keep anything
As sterile as you need to fight this.
right. I can
I
speak.
can only imagine food service, like
Yeah.
the dude working at McDonald's flipping burgers.
Yeah.
How do you keep all those surfaces sterile as you're handing out food to hundreds and hundreds of people?
Well, one way that helps is not having a million people there, and
Yeah.
this is the point. Is like honestly, I know it's tough because in our society, we kind of value ourselves based on our labor, um, but or the product of our labor in a lot of ways, like what we've
Right.
done today. But we really need to sit this one out, all of us, for a while, as much as we can. So yeah, it it's tough, and it almost certainly will reemerge. I mean, the UK was trying that whole herd immunity thing for a while, where they were just trying to let everybody get it so it would go over quickly. And then what happened was it exploded in their faces, and now
Yeah.
they're trying to lock down. And so they're in damage control right now. And that's the point.
Stupid idea.
As best as we can spread this out, the better. We just have to hope that we're able to stay intact, both as individuals, as communities, and as like our productive capacity and businesses. Like our jobs and stuff like that are still there, and people are intact enough to be able to hire us. Like Matt and I are both in construction, or Parker who works at a hotel, or Maddie who works with food. Like we just have to hope that all these things
Are there when
are
this is over.
there when this is over,
Yeah.
and for the most part they should be. But we don't know what this looks like at the end. So right now, I think that's part of the anxiousness, and we're not good at sitting still. Very very few of us
Yeah.
like this. But hey, man,
Uh,
I feel for you. I really do. I feel for you.
I got to say on that point, most of the people that are, at least on the surface, most heavily affected are active people who work in food service or the service industry or construction or
Yeah.
people who have to move all the fucking time. Like my wife is a nurse. She's on her feet 72 hours a week and collecting money for it. And for her to sit on her ass and crochet for 2 days has driven her fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's the same for everybody. Anybody in the food service industry, you're on your feet most of the time, running
Yeah.
food from the kitchen here back and forth, or cooking or whatever. Or in construction, you're up and down the ladder all day. You have a huge, demand for physical activity, and then you sit on your ass for any more than 48 hours, and you start going fucking stir crazy. I've been losing my shit for fucking like 4 days now. I don't know what else to do. My skill saw is in quarantine in Jackson. I'm not even allowed to go up and get my skill saw to do some home projects and shit. And
yeah.
I've felt better the last couple of days than I have in fucking 2 weeks. So I feel like I could do some shit, and nobody will let me do it. And to your point, it's better. I'll stay home in case that 0.3% chance that I'm carrying something. I don't want to spread it to anybody else, but really, I feel fine. I really don't think I have what they think I have. But until those test results come back, everybody says I have to stay home, and I can't sleep in the same bed as my wife, and I can't talk to my kid, and I can't pet my dog. And I have to Lysol everything in between. So, you know how hard it is to get a cup of coffee in the morning in a two-bedroom house.
Hey, bud. Well, I tell you what. Let's how about I give you a call after this, and we can talk on a little more personal level, because I want to make sure you're all good. But thank you. Our phones are being weird, so we don't have a great system. Parker can't hear you, I believe. Uh, but why don't I give you a call and after this? And regardless, like everything's gonna be all right, and I just hope you make it through this sane.
Yeah, same to you, bro.
All right, man. Well, you take care of yourself. Play some Xbox or something.
All right, later.
All right, bye. That was Matthew.
Maddie Ratface.
I hope everyone's doing well. It's tough hearing stuff like that,
Yeah.
but luckily we're given that we're from a rural area, people are strong. So we're gonna weather this, especially. We're gonna have to be strong, all the more so given how kind of
Uncertain.
well uncertain, but the response has been kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, that too.
Like
Like on all fronts.
yeah, we need to be doing a lot more. So in any case, yeah. Well, Matt, if you're watching, bud, take care of yourself, and I will call you after. All right. Parker, you want to
Yeah.
run us through what you were talking about?
Well, earlier this week, director Stuart Gordon passed away. He's famous in the horror community for doing possibly the most H.P. Lovecraft adaptations to screen. Um, he'll definitely missed in that little community. For those of you who don't know, he's famous for doing Reanimator. Um, but when I thought of the idea to do this as a segment, I did a little more research on him, and he got started in doing stage plays in Wisconsin in the 60s. And he's kind of famous for pushing the envelope. One was called The Game Show, where basically actors performed the play and then they kind of went out and attacked the audience. The whole idea was to, get a reaction no matter what it was. People throwing up, stuff like that. And then
Is that
that's some.
is that a specific genre of director who's like, my goal is to make people like loose their bodily fluids?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a genre.
Sorry.
Gross out something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it just adds to the experience, probably. Sorry, keep going.
And then, well, this is the more interesting play he did. It was his last play that he produced and directed. He formed something called the Screw Theater. And the last play he did was a version of Peter Pan. And he and his future wife got arrested afterwards for obscenity. To put some context to it, he was protesting the Vietnam War, because this was 68, and he got tear gassed in the street by Chicago police. And that's where he came up with the idea to do a political version of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Basically, what he did was Peter Pan stayed the same relatively, but instead of leading the Lost Boys, he led hippies and yippies. I'm not sure what the hell that is.
It was like the yuppie hippies, I believe. I forget the specifics there, but it's something to do with that.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
We'll have to ask a 50, 60, 70-year-old.
But Captain Hook became Mayor Daley, who was, I believe he was mayor of Chicago at the time, and the pirates were the Chicago police. So that's what the characters looked like, but they still had the same dialogue and motivation and everything. It's just they looked like these people.
Yeah.
And the crescendo of the show was, so then you picture Mayor Daley and, all these people sprinkling pixie dust on themselves and think lovely thoughts, and then suddenly it's like an acid trip because they're flashing the lights, and then there's projected bodies of 7 naked ladies.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, got arrested for obscenity, and then because this is produced by the University of Wisconsin, he was told that he's got to you're under. They're gonna keep an eye on you from now on. He's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go do my own thing."
The only proper response to something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Um, so then he just kind of delved into it. His first feature was Reanimator.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? Not to knock you off your thing, but I'm seeing here he co-created Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and executive produced Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
Really?
This guy
I
is
loved those when I was
he's got some he's got
Range.
talent. Yeah, range.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
How'd you go from having a severed head going down on a naked lady movie to I got an idea. I'm gonna shrink stuff.
Yeah. What's the name of the guy in those movies? Shoot, with the glasses.
I don't know.
Oh,
Parker knows.
that was last name Zelensky.
What was that?
Wayne Zelensky.
No, his
Yeah.
real name.
Oh, Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Yes. Of Ghostbusters fame. Yeah. No, those movies were great.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And The Dentist, apparently. He co-wrote Body Snatchers and The Dentist. This guy, I don't know how I haven't heard of him before, because he's got quite the career. Now I feel bad.
I like Space Truckers.
What's that about?
Dennis Hopper's a space trucker, and he gets this young guy to help. They're they're both space truckers, and they're hauling this load. But what they don't know is that there's like killer androids inside it until they come across a space pirate who happened to have worked on the project, and he's like, oh, well, if you use this, you activate them, and then they start activating in sequences, and they're basically almost indestructible. Oh, and they're heading for Earth, no big deal.
Dennis Hopper and Steven Dorff, of all people.
Okay, that's right. I knew he was a guy like that, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, from Blade. He's like Frost or whatever the guy's name is. Yeah. That's funny, man. Hey, let's see what we got here. It says American British Irish comic science fiction film. John Canyon, one of the last independent space transport entrepreneurs. Bad times have forced him to carry suspicious cargo to Earth without asking questions. During the flight, the cargo turns out to be a multitude of virtually unstoppable killer robots.
I feel like that would be like need to know information.
That's interesting.
Come to Earth. No.
That's crazy.
Have you ever heard of Stuck?
No.
That's a weird one, especially for him because this wasn't like his typical type of movie. But
I've seen Stuck videos on a certain website.
Well, it's kind of like that, except the guy
it's mostly like my friend's mom gets stuck in the sink.
Washing machine.
Yeah.
Kind
Is it one of those?
of, except the guy that's stuck doesn't get to have sex. That's in another room in the house.
Well, that's the main part of these videos. Honestly, they're pretty one track.
Mia Servari is just driving and she hits this guy and he's stuck in her windshield and she doesn't know what to do, so she goes home. He's stuck in her windshield in her garage and she's off phoning black dudes.
Cool.
That actually kind of sounds familiar.
Well, this is the weirdest movie poster of all time. It's homeless man lives in car windshield. Brandy's secret. I hit a man with my car and left him to die in my garage. Cheating boyfriend. He never saw it coming. Uh,
Interesting.
that's fun. Oh, it takes place in Rhode Island. There you go.
There
That's
you go.
why. Yeah, a lot of hit and runs in that small state. He did a Masters of Horror, apparently.
I believe he did two of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
he did two because he while he did a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, he did a few things for Edgar Allan Poe as well. One of them was a Masters of Horror, which was based off the Black Cat story.
Okay.
Edgar Allan Poe, and then he did one that was an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation.
Yeah, Dagon, right? He also did Dagon.
Yeah, and From Beyond.
Okay. Wow. That's it. That's interesting. What's that? What's that? Yeah, the shadow over Innsmouth.
Yeah,
Innsmouth is it? I don't know.
I think it works on either way because it is about creatures with mouths.
Hmm. The eater. Let's see. Paul Marsh has a dream that he discovers a mermaid with razor sharp teeth while scuba diving. It doesn't say where her razor sharp teeth are. We can assume her mouth, but who knows? Um, in a strange underwater building, Paul wakes on a boat off the shores of Spain where he's vacationing with his girlfriend. A sudden storm blows their boat against some hidden rocks. Vicky is trapped below deck, and Howard stays with her while Paul and Barbara take a lifeboat to the nearby fishing village of Imboca. During their absence, an unseen creature from the deep attacks the two in the boat. Oh, is it? This is a Spanish film, yeah?
I believe it's a TV show,
Oh, yeah?
and anthology television series.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like all the actors in the production. Yeah, Spain. Oh, it was released through Lionsgate too. So. Hmm. I'll have to check that one out sometime. That looks interesting. Lovecraft's cool.
Mm.
So, what really sticks out with Stuart Gordon for you?
It's definitely the H.P. Lovecraft adaptations. Not like the biggest H.P. Lovecraft nerd, but I really love the work, the whole fear of the unknown aspect of that whole of most of his books.
Yeah.
And I think he did a pretty decent job, especially where Reanimator took place during the Civil War in the book, so he had to make that contemporary, and I think he did a pretty good job because a lot of it's kind of covered, despite being like almost 100 years later.
Hmm. Well, rest in power, Stuart Gordon. Badass. Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
We are going to take a quick break to fight each other physically, like feral cats, and then we will return. All right. What were you saying while we were away? Because it segues nicely into my last point here.
I recently saw earlier today a news article about how in Denmark they banned sex with any more than 3 people because there was a coronavirus orgy party of 500 people. And yeah, like, okay. And of those 500 people, 385 of them tested positive for coronavirus after having sex at that orgy.
What kind of building are you in?
To fit 500
Yeah.
people fucking.
That's,
Maybe like one of the shut down
I think
buildings.
I think it's like it's gonna be like maybe a warehouse or an auditorium,
Yeah, I was
abandoned
gonna say.
auditorium. Everybody was wearing masks. Some people weren't. There was a
that's
they
wild.
had fresh
Yeah, no
frozen
more than
shrimp.
3 people to have sex in Denmark now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they said worth it.
I mean, probably. All right. Well, yeah, that actually segues right into my last thing, which is going to be it's a mix of serious and funny because this is good advice, but also just there's some humor to it. So let's have a laugh, shall we? This is New York City's health guidelines for COVID. It says all New Yorkers should stay home and minimize contact with others to reduce the spread of COVID-19. But can you have sex? Here are some tips for how to enjoy sex and avoid spreading the coronavirus. You can get a person who has it. We still have a lot to learn about it. I can read through those, but you know. Basically, it's been found in the feces of people who have been infected, but it's not yet been found in the semen or vaginal fluid. We know that other coronaviruses do not officially transmit through sex. Their recommendation is to have sex with people close to you. Depending on your situation, that might be bad advice.
Yeah.
So just take that as you will. People.
All I was saying is don't have anal sex.
Well, that's yeah. We'll get to that. But it says you underlined are your safest sex partner. Yeah, that's
Have
just true.
sex
Yeah.
with yourself.
Nobody knows
You got
my
time.
body.
Explore yourself.
Right. Nobody knows my body like I know my body, and I think we can all agree on that. Yeah. It's. You are your safest sex partner. Masturbation will not spread COVID-19, especially if you wash your hands and any sex toys with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Remember, happy birthday twice, even when you're washing your dillies and fleshlights and stuff. The next safest partner is someone you live with. Again, that's not great universal advice, but I think contextually, I think what they mean is your partner. So, sorry, people with stepmom fetishes and stuff.
It's talking about someone you already have a sexual relationship with.
Don't do it. Having close contact, including sex with only a small circle of people, and it reminds you to only do it with consenting partners. That is good universal advice. Try not to have sex with people outside your household. If you do have sex with others, have as few partners as possible. So again, that whole, was it Norway?
Denmark.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders wants us to be Denmark, huh? Looking more and more appealing.
Seems
yeah.
like they know how to have some fun.
So people of Denmark, 500 person orgies would be discouraged. Kissing can easily pass the coronavirus. Avoid kissing anyone who is not part of your small circle of close contacts. Like, I only kiss one person. So that's a very small circle.
Yeah.
My dog.
Certainly.
Fuck you.
And just a very hard segue into, so kissing can pass it. Also, rimming someone with your mouth on the anus might spread coronavirus. Because
I like how they had to explain what rimming is.
yeah, that's when you kiss someone with the rim of your mouth.
Okay.
Give me a quick rim. um, it's just like kissing. All right, yeah. Also, analingus. Condoms and dental dams can reduce contact with saliva or feces, especially during oral anal sex. That's just good advice, regardless. Washing up before and after. Soap and water, 20 seconds. Wash your sex toys. Disinfect your keyboards and touchscreens that you share with others for video chat, for watching pornography, or for anything else. Yes, if you are, let's say, celebrating all over your keyboard and that is a public space, first of all, rude.
Yeah.
Secondly,
dick move.
yeah, literally.
You're proud for history.
Right. Clean up after yourself, please. Obviously, skip sex if you're not feeling well, and continue to practice safe sex in general, which might be difficult given that they're also saying, no thanks, they're also saying, world's biggest condom producer warns of global shortage. So a global shortage of condoms is looming as the world's biggest producer went into lockdown and it forced it to shut down production. 1 in every 5 condoms is manufactured by Malaysia's Carex BHD. It's not produced a single condom from its 3 Malaysian factories for more than a week due to the lockdown. There's already a shortfall of 100 million condoms, normally marketed internationally by brands such as Durex, supplied to state healthcare systems like the NHS, or distributed by aid programs such as the UN Population Fund. The company was given permission to restart production on Friday, but only 50% of its workforce under a special exemption for critical industries. So these are the externalities of these things too. Like, just on a serious note that we have to watch out for. Like, just be extra safe right now. Like, I know we're goofing around. And
I would add, it wasn't on the CDC list, but you need to pee after sex.
Yes, definitely pee after sex. But be all the more careful, and like for the interim, like don't hoard condoms, I guess, because there might be a shortage at some point. So be safe out there, folks. Things just keep getting more and more crazy. And we're definitely, our hearts go out to the people all across the world who are dealing with this, obviously, but especially like New York right now. Let's do the right thing and help them out, huh? If you can, support somebody.
You can donate. If you make masks, make some masks.
Yeah.
Do something to help someone.
Right. In our own state, right now, we're kind of in this like false sense of security a little bit, because it hasn't hit us all that hard yet. We just went into he's not calling it shelter in place, but stay at home. Unfortunately, it's very loose, and it's more of a suggestion. And I'm certainly not saying we should have like the National Guard out, pushing people back into their homes. At the same time, if we don't take this seriously, hopefully that's all you need is to hear from the governor, like stay at home, and then you go, okay, yeah. Even though this is a very loose policy and basically like anybody is considered essential and whatever, like let's just be safe and keep limited exposure in the communities and let's stay home. So, it's on us ultimately to be safe about this. But hopefully we can keep this under control as much as possible because you don't. I mean, we've all seen it. Like we don't want to be in end up with like a not to be insensitive, but like in Italy in every state
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
America. It's going to be hard enough helping the rest of the world, helping New York, Washington State, Louisiana looks like it's going to have some issues in Texas. But it's going to be hard enough helping the big cities and stuff like that, and also definitely like Africa and all these places where it's kind of India, where it's emerging now
Yeah.
in a very serious way. It's going to be hard enough to provide aid there. So let's take this seriously. Anyway, final. Anybody have anything else to talk about?
Um. Well, I wanted to say, like, the end of that safe sex segment. You don't have to do "Happy Birthday" twice. I found out that you can do the uh, first couple of the first lines, first part of "Sweet Transvestite" from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Would you care to demonstrate for us right now?
When somebody walks in, it's great. It's great.
Would you care to demonstrate for us briefly?
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Just
All right.
pull up the lyrics here.
Yeah.
So I get them right.
Hit us.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
I am ready.
How do you do? I see you've met my faithful handyman. He's just a little brought down because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man. Don't get strung up by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm a transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
Yeah. Yes, that is preferable. So yes, definitely make that the new. I think that should be the birthday song from now on. It's far more entertaining and less monotone. That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's 20 seconds, huh?
Yes, 5 seconds.
All right.
I might have sung it a little slower this time around, but
Well, that's just extra hand washing time. See, now you're sterilized.
There you go.
Congratulations. That's called being safe.
Job well done.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
I mean, yeah, wash your hands. Sing that song if you want to. Don't
wanna-
touch your face.
You want to sing us 20 seconds of a song?
Well, I was going to say that I found out that if you start singing The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance and you end at The Beaten and the Damned, that's 20 seconds. For all the emo kids out there.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's more of us than you think there are.
We'll see.
there's gonna be a fight over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, whatever gets you to wash your hands, you people. Personally, I just scrub hard till I bleed, and then I scrub again because that's
You gotta wash the blood away.
yeah. I'm washing my hands right now. You don't even know. But yeah.
Wash your hand, your dick.
Well, be good, everybody. Take care and stay safe, stay sane, and stay healthy. Uh, Peace.